right, so we're back with the We Got Issues Hoodlum podcast. And listen, you guys like, subscribe, and
hit the like button
and follow us. Don't make it fun. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that button on the right there that says you like the podcast. You know, make us happy. You know what I'm saying? Catch you right back.
Run that.
So great story you're telling
you
us.
Was enjoying the story?
Yeah, I want to hear about the En Vogue girls. I want to hear about the hair pulling and all that kind of stuff.
So you picked the 4 girls.
So yeah, they get together. We obviously do the first album, Born to Sing. We were in Atlanta, and Sylvia Rome, at that point in Atlantic, had a big listening thing, party where it wasn't even a listening party. It was like a dinner with a lot of promotion for executive people. Yeah. And so we did this whole thing in Atlanta, and so it probably was for Jack the Rapper or something. Right. But anyway, we go there, and they all get their own little cassette listening thing, and it was going in there, and you waiting for these responses like, oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, this love it. Nothing. When I say nothing,
bedroom.
And I'm telling you, we had maybe half that album, maybe 4 or 5 songs from the album. So Hold On was on there. You Don't Have to Worry. All the hits were on there.
Wow.
Yeah, and so, and one guy got in the limo with us when we was leaving, and I said, so did you hear the album? He said, yeah, it was cool. Yeah. It was like, we poured everything and we was gonna knock down the door. Yeah. And he was just like, it was good. And I was just like, what am I listening to? He said, and it was like, what you think of Hold On? Now, what I didn't know, she had cut the intro off of it. So the guy was like, yeah, it's, I like it. It's a little slow, it's this, but they can sing, and I was just like, So we get back, we go and finish mixing the rap album and everything. And she was just like, I don't know. I think we should speed up Hold On. I was like, no. And she was like, well, we should, maybe we should do a remix on that. I said, no. And then she was like, so you willing to just go out on the limb with it? I said, yep.
Good.
And she said, and don't take the intro off of it. The intro sets up everything.
Right, exactly.
You don't see it coming. Mm-hmm. It's going like that. And then she's like, well, radio ain't not going to play a cappella, which at the time because that was before Boys to Me. Remember, Girls was actually almost the intro to groups again, singing groups. So they were like, "Oh no, a cappella! Like who would listen to a cappella in the beginning of something?" And she said, "Well, we'll meet you halfway and put it, put a version of it with it and a version with it out."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay,
extended version."
Yeah, and then they play what they want to play.
Right.
So, we waiting for D-Day.
Now, did you shot the video already, or is it before the video?
Yeah, no, it was before the video, but we were going to shoot the video, and the video has a whole other story to it, which I can get into. Okay, so we go back to shoot the video for it. We're getting, we got a new act budget. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then and I'm sitting here going through clothes and stuff, and the girls were looking like, this is so they come in and and Sil was like, oh, she's the best stylist and every blah blah blah. It was just horrible. Yeah. So their manager, which was our manager, and he managed the girls. David was like, well, let's go and buy something, that's more appropriate. And the guy who was the director of video, Tar Sim, who ended up being the
biggest photographer in the world.
Yeah, and a great director.
Most famous, yeah.
And so he that was going to be his first video.
Yeah.
And so he was like, they really ain't looking hot. So we went and couldn't find that, and then the girl came back with these black dresses. I was like, oh, that looks kind of sexy. But still, it was almost like, this'll do.
Right.
Yeah.
And Tarzan was nutty the way he was shooting. Like, it was like, you see nothing. Everything was green screen, as you could see in that video. It was really weird. So you had that really going. Now, the girls had never worked in any of those conditions, even if it was a set, but not a green screen. So they standing up there on these little tabletop things and had to do their dance moves.
Like little
stuff.
apple boxes?
Oh, yeah, like apple boxes, exactly.
Yeah.
And they were stacked up to be a little higher than the other going.
Lord.
And they trying to do these moves with these heels on, and it was just a disaster.
There's like a little slit in the apple boxes, and your heel will get stuck
That's where
inside.
you get the apple bottom?
Yeah,
from?
No.
no.
That was T-Pain. That came a long time later.
I'm just saying.
So no, but they was definitely on those boxes, and they was standing and trying to do move. And he was just hooked. I said, "This is not working." So he said, "I'm
Looking like spastics, like.
And so I was saying, Sydney, I really need you to just So I don't know what it was, and she was the one we was thinking least that would have a problem in front of a camera because she had been acting and stuff.
Right.
But it's different when you're doing a video.
Yeah.
You know, it's acting, but it's a whole nother thing going on, right? So the energy, she couldn't just pull out the energy. Then everybody was getting mad that she was getting mad. And then I was just like, well, just do the best you can. And you know this is not the best. Because she could see, at least kind of see the daily thing.
Yeah. Right,
and she's like, ooh, I look terrible. It's like, yeah, I need you to sing.
Right.
I need all y'all to sing. That's why I say sing.
Oh, were they trying to like lip sync?
Yes.
Oh, that never looks
works,
good.
right?
You have to actually sing when you're doing a music video.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And and that's still in the middle of video age. So people, don't realize it.
It doesn't work now. It certainly would not work then.
This was like 90.
Yeah.
89.
Yeah, so it's 10 years.
Video's
been around.
So it was still trying to kick in.
Yeah.
So I was like, just sing it for real. Like really sing it. Well, not just mumble it either.
Right.
I want to hear you
sing out.
because then I can see your veins and popping.
Yeah.
And so
We can see a
and the
difference.
choreographer was doing the same thing about popping the steps. Like, look, if you fall, we'll just deal with it if you fall. But just
full out.
they're not going to move, because it was sturdy. They just felt like it felt uncomfortable. So they felt uncomfortable. Man, then they started nailing it. And then it started looking really sexy. Like it was like, oh, the sex appeal started coming. And it was just like, oh, okay. So, we get the video done, we move on. And records coming out everywhere, and it's getting incredible reviews where the acapella was coming in with it. When it wasn't with the acapella on it, it was like doing okay. So Sylvia was like, okay, well, we're gonna force them to do the acapella thing. So it was going through it. And man, it just, again, another rocket. It just started going, every club. I could not go anywhere and not hear that. And then the part that I was hoping for happened. They saw that video, and it was not a guy on the planet that did not talk about that video.
I'm guilty.
You see them legs? Because, mostly the girls be thin and they had legs and
full body woman.
Black excellence.
Yeah, so it was like, oh my goodness. So I didn't, we thought that could happen, but it was starting to come in. And then I was like, okay, we cannot see them in the same thing twice. Like for now on, it's because the group is called En Vogue too, and so we have to stay there. En Vogue, constant. Sylvia and the labels looking, Doug is looking like, oh, this shit's gonna cost. But it was worth it, And so the first major thing when we knew they were going to be like superstars was Soul Train Award had that Sprite party before, the day before. And so they had the big Sprite party and acts would come perform. So the girls had to perform. So that was going to be their first time performing in front of everybody.
Coming out party.
Yeah, they coming out party. And so the other thing I was priding myself on is that they could really sing. Like, and we rehearsed so much, but I learned that from me and Tommy rehearsing with Club Nouveau. We could not make a mistake. We were the only band. So we couldn't cover it up with the bass player or the drummer. We could not that. So we're so tuned with, conditioning and then from school, playing in symphonic band, we had a teacher who was just like
tight.
So I was just beating them. I said, we're gonna sing this song for 6 hours straight with no music, and I'll be hitting the piano, and you better end up on that note at the end.
That's dope.
So we start off in B flat.
My teacher used to do that to us too.
Yeah, when we finish, I'm gonna hit that there, and you better still be on that B flat.
You have no idea how hard
that is extremely
very hard, especially with other people, because if they come in on the harmony, just even the slightest amount, you're not gonna end up there, and it's not your fault.
Yeah, and it's not your fault. You be like, well, I was following her because you got to match the harmony. Yeah. No, she knows what's up.
She's a professional.
She nailed that. Somebody's been training her too. But it was like, so we was gonna grinding it out. But I was telling them, you don't understand. the slightest thing can distract you out there. And so we was looking at people like Manhattan Transfer and, you know, because you didn't have like Boys Band or Take 6 back then because they came after.
Sure.
So it was like, so I was saying, you see how they just so tune in to what they're doing, you know, but they're still giving it up to the audience. It's like, how are we going to do both? You know, it's like,
no, because you don't have to think about the performance when it's so deeply embedded in you.
So
then you can go on stage and you're not even thinking about that.
You
You're just
can't help yourself
connecting.
but sing the right note,
you know how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's the part that they realized because they didn't understand what it's saying. They was just like, he just working it. But they would do it. They were very, very easy to work with, believe it or not. Even the girls,
I believe that.
They came to work and they wanted to win, and they trusted me and Tommy. So they really did every day. As much of I was being a butt on them with it, they were actually delivering. But then they understood what I was saying because when they got there and you see all those industry people, you know, you got Usher in the office, you got Luther at the party, you got everybody sitting there, and I said, see now. But they had engraved, like you said, they were so engraved with it. You know, they were nervous as hell, but I knew nothing but good was gonna come out because we had been over it like a gazillion times. And Hold On is gonna be one song they could sing. So, you know, and it was so, I knew I had to do that because that acapella in that beginning and that dry run coming into that drum beat, and they was doing a track date. So the beat had to start here, you know, and so we had to time that right, you know, and make sure when Terry sings, like we said, you got to end up on that note because if you don't, it's going to sound weird coming into the groove.
Oh my God.
So she was like, okay, and then Sylvia came in there, and then you got Doug and Sylvia.
They didn't go up there with pitch pipes either.
No.
Did they?
Somebody had one in the last minute that saved us. Because Cindy is perfect pitch. So she could hear it in her head, but again, now people are talking to you before the show, and you sign out, and they're giving you hugs.
You have another song in your head, like somebody plays something else, right?
Well, that's what happened. A couple other performances happened, and she's hearing that, and she's like, I don't know what the. They was like, Cindy, you don't know the pitch. She's like, I'm trying to get it. I need a piano. I need something to read it. And somebody out of nowhere had a pitch with it.
Oh my God.
So she was like, "Ooh, okay, we good."
She walks around with a little whistle.
It's for phonation.
Oh, okay.
You know, like it just looks like a straw.
Yeah.
And it's just tiny enough that it's really good for balancing the air over and underneath your vocal folds.
Oh, okay. So
tricks.
How often? Well, there's definitely a lot of tricks I was doing about it. But they stayed on stage, nervous as all that, and everybody was looking like, you know how industry people are. Another supposed to be better than everything and all that, but I do like that song. And they still don't know who they are, so you know, everybody's not connecting that dot. They've heard the record, but they're not connecting it to them. And then, you know, you hear some mumbles, I think that's them En Vogue girls. Or like, oh yeah, they look a little smaller than TV. You know, you hearing all that in the audience. Man, and, you know, Terry hits that win, you know, then they was like, oh shit, you know, rolling. Then it was like, let's see them get out of there. But when the beat happened, that place just roared. They won everybody over. And then at that point, I was like, oh, they gonna be everybody's sweethearts. That's a rap. And it was a rap. You know, they really,
you win that room. You win, period.
They won that room, and it was just after that, it really couldn't do no wrong.
Cool question. How'd you come with the name? How'd that name come about?
It's funny because it was going to be called For You and 10 other names, but all them names was taken. Thank God they were. And then somebody said, I think Cindy or one of the girls in the group said, I like, how about Vogue? I'm like, oh, Vogue is good, but I was like, that's kind of direct. I said, we might have problems with the magazine, so like that.
Sure.
And then we went over it and on our list, and I say, you know, I think either I said or somebody said En Vogue, you know, being in Vogue, you know.
And then you changed it to an EN instead of an IN.
Exactly. And I was just like, oh, that's En Vogue. I said, that looked kind of cool, and it looked good. Because we start messing with it, and the V, and you had the Un and the Vogue, and I was like, oh, that's kind of nice, and that's classy. And it's hip. So I was like, oh yeah, we got to roll with that. So we was praying that nothing came out saying we had, it was a couple clubs and stuff, but there was nothing there. So at that point, they became En Vogue and it was rolling. And
you had a nice run with those girls.
Oh man. So, you know.
How many albums?
Oh.
You make 3 or 4, right?
Well, that with the labels, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 3 before they broke up.
Yeah.
2 before they broke up because Don left.
Yeah, because I got a call about
Maxine,
Don.
And so the second album, the Funky Diva album, it was like after you had this great success and 4 number ones off one album, you like, how you gonna beat that?
Yeah, that's pressure. And I can imagine that kind of like. Did you feel the pressure
going
back in the studio?
We'd done a bunch of other records out there, and we were pretty hot as producers at the time. So it was like, okay, I really want to push the envelope with them. Like, I don't want to do Hold On Part 2.
Right.
Sure.
I want to take it beyond that.
Right.
You know. And so we were pushing. That's where you get to free your minds and all the other stuff. It's like
we had to go for that.
I was pushing. I was like, let's go. And the girls loved it. Like they was like, let's conquer the world. Let's do anything. So we were trying all kind of stuff. And I remember.
Wait, you did free like? You did?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Wait! I'm sorry. She don't know. He did En Vogue. So he did.
I know.
Well, not in consecutive. I was a songwriter and producer.
That's like the whole thing.
You had to sing that for one of your girl groups.
Yeah, when I was in Forever Heartbreak, we covered En Vogue like constantly.
Oh, you was covering the song? Yeah. They had some songs to cover.
I produced the whole thing too. Yeah.
And what a band! Whose idea was to bring Salt and Pepper and all that stuff?
That was Herbie.
Oh, okay.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Yeah, Love Bug that was working with. So he called and said, "Hey man, you think the girls? It ain't gonna cost me a lot, is it?" I said, "What is it, Herbie?" And he said, "Well, it's this part that I was singing off this record, and I want to do that again. I thought the girls would be good with Salt and Pepper." And I was like, "Oh, I love it."
Yeah.
So he produced that record.
Yeah. No, just how that came about.
Yeah, that's how he just called. He called Sylvia and she said, "Well, you got called Denny," and then they called, and I was just like, "I love Salt and Pepper."
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Hey, that's perfect."
Yeah, that was.
And so
I was just talking about them.
Yeah, and they were just, when we got to that Funky Divas album, everything we fought so hard on everything. And that was the biggest fight ever. That's where we actually fell out with the label.
Oh.
And because they didn't like it. Sylvia didn't like it. And what was his name?
Daryl?
No, the other one. He before that. He was a DJ out of New York, and then he ended up being it'll come to me. Anyway, he comes out with her, and they sit there and they listen to everything, the mixes, everything, and she said, okay. And I think the only record we didn't let her hear, because we hadn't mixed it, was Free Your Mind. But when she heard that, she was telling me, like, no. A rock song, no.
She said no?
Wow. Matter of fact, she was trying not to have that on the album, even when we finally admitted to it. It's just one of those things you used to, you hear something the way you hear it.
But you have a mental position on what you think it's supposed to be, and you're not receptive to the new sound. Right.
And so she wasn't going for it. So she didn't tell us that. When she left, she said everything was cool. Let's start to schedule and everything. I said, okay, cool.
Right.
And then,
she started thinking
and that gave us some of the love she wanted. We did My Lovin', and that was kind of like a takeoff of Hold On. So they had this whole thing on it. So, it was kind of like we went through all that process. Then when she get back, I didn't even find out from her. I started getting calls from producers, friends. Jimmy and Terry, Teddy Riley, and it was like, hey, dude, what's going on over there? Oh, what you mean, what's going on?
Something bad when someone hits you with that. So it's like, you okay?
What's
going on?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Should I not be? What do you know that I don't?
Yeah. You was like, they were just like, we get this call from Sylvia to talk about, she needs to fix the girl's album because it was a mess.
Wow.
And
what?
And I was just like, a mess? She told you that? It was like, yeah. And we was like, well, we know him, so I'm gonna call him and see what's up. So I was just like, no, she didn't. So I'm like sitting here. And then it got so bad where record stores, warehouse, I'm going to warehouse to, pick up records. And the guy said, man, what happened?
No.
I was like,
are you serious?
We just made the best album ever, and you don't know it yet, is what happened.
So what you mean? What happened? The word on the street, the girls' album was all fucked up, and the record labels trying to take it from y'all. You know how rumors started, right?
Yeah. Rumors, time to social club. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm like, how is the guy at warehouse, is telling me about my situation before I even know it?
Yeah, that's like, ass backwards.
So we call her, and she's like, well, to be honest, they deserve better, and this and this and this. This is the Funky Diva album. And it's just like, and as is, nothing changed. Right. As you guys heard it, is what was that, when it all comes. So And she's like, and I know our agreement is, you have the final say in this and that and the other, but they don't have to put it out.
Right.
So she's like, I can't put it out. So I was sitting there, and so the girls was like, well, we could probably sing it better.
Oh, they think it's their fault.
Yeah, they think it's their fault. And I'm like, no, it's not you guys. It's just whole fun thing.
It's not you, it's them.
Yeah. But to tell them that after you work so hard and you thinking like, oh, everybody's gonna love it like you do, and it's like.
Did you ever second guess?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. So I'm sitting here thinking, and I said, well, let me listen to it again. I'm listening. I'm talking to Tommy, and Tommy's like, Tommy's cool as ice. Mm-hmm. He just sits there and like, dude, if there was something wrong with it, I would say to him. I just don't know what it is that she's listening to. Mm-hmm. I love this record. I love this record. This record is incredible. This and that. And I was just like, yeah, but that's us. I said, and I was sitting there and I took a ride. I drove from the Bay Area to LA and back. Listening to the record, actually San Diego. And I listened to the record, and I was just like, I can't do no better.
Did you play anyone else listen to? You might trust their ear.
Yeah. So I have, one other friend that I thought would be honest, about it.
Right.
And he was just like, man, this is the rain. He said, so he actually was saying, why don't you go to the radio station?
Oh.
I said, so I called Keith Nathalie.
Keith,
He was head of, And I said, Keith, I got the new En Vogue. Wait, say no more.
Oh yeah,
bring it in. And so I came in and we played like 5 records, and the phones just lit up.
Wait, what's that again?
The phones.
Lit up.
Oh, you played on air.
He just played
the gangster.
Yeah, I love it.
And he said, we got the first in. Nobody's ever heard of us. Like, they know En Vogue.
Exclusive.
And then it was just like blowing up. I mean, matter of fact, the only thing that was a single that we played was My Lovin'. All the others wasn't singles. We were playing like Yesterday off that album.
You didn't play the cut. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Give Them Something to Feel. We played that one too. So people would just call it, oh my God, my head's about to explode. And I was that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah. Thank you.
So then I was like, no, we just hold still. I said, you can give it back to us and we can take it somewhere else. And there was none of that going on. And then it's funny how just timing, right? And you both been in the business. So what happened was they had a horrible year. Yeah. Atlantic had a horrible year. Warner even had a horrible year that year. And they was like, look, we need that En Vogue album. I don't care what it sounds like, but we need it on schedule. Right. So now the pressure, and this is after 3 months of silence. When I'm telling you it was silence for 3 months, I was like, damn, there ain't no calls back, no nothing. I was like, oh shit, I guess we just at stalemate because I'm not giving up. After I heard what I heard, I'm doing it. So we get this call, and then David, our manager, said, hey, Doug Morris wanted to talk to you. And I was just like, so the Oakland came out. I was like, what the fuck is Doug Morris? Shit, they changed it. Right. He said, well, I think you should talk to him. I was like, okay. So Doug say, okay, what is it going to take to get this album? And I was like, well, first of all, see if you don't like the album. So for us to go somewhere where somebody don't like the album, how it's going to get promoted right? And he was just like, don't worry about that, right? Pretty much what he was saying. I mean, he was cool about it, but he said, yeah, I'll handle that. Right. He said, I said, well, I don't trust the situation. So we got to have our own promotion money. So we can hire people we have with it. He said, well, how much that's going to cost us? And it wasn't that much. It was like $100,000. We said, just to,
see the market.
See the market, right. And so he said, okay, fair enough. He said, but can I get it? I need to get the album here by tomorrow. I said, okay, I'll FedEx it today. So now here's the Oakland in me, right? We street.
Well, I said first.
Well, I did, but I was like, he said, well, it's Doug Morris. He said, I said, okay. I said, I'll send it. I sent half the album.
Good for you.
The other half was sitting in my hand until that check got there.
Exactly.
I said, oh my God.
So smart.
You only got one. Hey, Tommy, what's that? Okay, I'll send it right away. It was like the other CD.
You didn't get the whole thing? Oh, my bad. My bad.
I thought the whole thing
I guess
went out.
that one got lost in the mail.
So Doug, now you know that, right? They don't even know that part of the story, but it all worked out. I just had to make sure he was a man of his word.
Right.
But he was. Yeah. Doug was. And
he's a solid guy.
And yes, he is. And we get a call from promotion guy, which was Craig Lambert.
Oh, yeah. He's a good friend. He lives down the block from me now.
Oh, okay. Tell Craig I said hi. He'll tell you the story.
I definitely will.
Craig manned up. Craig called me out the blue. And he said, Denzel, I just want you to know I love the album. And we gonna get some number ones off of this? He said, but their asses better be as fine as they are and ready for me, when I need them.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, they gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm gonna bring my staff and we're gonna come talk to you. And I said, okay, fine. So they flew out, him and his staff flew out, and he said some other stuff. But then he said, we never heard the record. All we just knew she was tore up the office, kind of went in and was having going off. And we was like, damn, it was that bad?
Wait, really?
And he said, so he finally heard it. He was just like, well, are you kidding me? My love it is incredible.
Right.
Like, he starts naming off the records.
Sure.
She was just in a bad mood that day.
I think it was, she didn't hear what she wanted to hear.
Right.
And that was the whole thing. And then and I can't say that she's not a good executive when it comes to if she wants to do something. Like when she knew what to do when there's something to do about it. So once that was over.
Yeah.
Atlantic did what they were supposed to do.
Because Sylvia's one of the best executives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Marketing and everything.
She's a guru.
She's the one that you talked about. Same one.
So when it blew up and did what it did, what was the conversation with Sylvia? Was there ever she you know what? No.
It's almost like those things. I don't know if athletes are like that with their coaches or something like that, but it was almost like, I give you the nod,
But she ain't gonna go overboard.
No, yeah, but she ain't gonna go overboard.
Begrudgingly, kind of
you don't see her, she ain't gonna go overboard.
It's kind of like whenever he beats me once in a while on the golf course, I kind of like, you got that one today.
I'll give you one.
So, but I was happy because they did what they were supposed to.
Right.
And they delivered the record.
And they delivered the record.
Great.
And it was a monster.
And Craig was incredible.
And we're gonna call Lambo after this.
And the video people were incredible. She had Michelle, I think it was Mitchie. She was incredible in the video department. Anything we wanted and the ideas we had and the people we wanted to get. And she was like me because I like new people.
Right.
So most of the girls' videos came from new directors and stuff like that, but they were astounding,
But Tarsem
Tarsem and Mark Romanek.
Mark Romanek. And Sam, he's incredible. Question for you. We have a segment called the We Got Issues segment.
Okay.
And, obviously the moniker of the show, but what are some of the issues that are important to you? Because we know you got to wrap up. What is something that is very meaningful to you that you want people to know touches your heart, or is something that's bothering you that you want to speak on?
I let go of stuff quickly, so I don't hold on to a lot of stuff.
That's great.
But is it like pertaining to the business?
No, just
life.
What do you want someone to take away from this?
Issue like anything kind of that you want to may not irritate, but this is something you think is an issue in this world in your life that you just
shine some light.
I think I don't like stereotypes.
There you go. Okay.
I mean, we do have our isms. Black folks have isms, white folks have the Asians have the isms. But to stereotype someone, and my example to put it on the music side of business is, Puerto Rican kid comes in, opens up his mouth, and writes a song like Babyface. Sings like Adele, but he's Latino. So you say, wow, we got the Latino department over here.
Right.
Maybe you didn't hear.
He's like, going like that. And then he goes to the Latino department and he's like, opens his mouth, sings with that, and he's got this combination going, and they go, well, we can't use you here. We just do
the Adele departments.
Exactly.
So he goes to the Adele department and he's like, yeah, but you're Puerto Rican. And
everyone's trying to put this person in a box.
Pop department,
Right.
So he goes to the black department. It's the same thing. And I said, and the reason I brought that up because I've known that happen to a lot of artists that's trying to deliver different music. And I felt like it's so homogenized now that nobody can get out. And it's sometimes it's the stereotype. It's like, because you look at him and you say, oh, he looks like this or he does this,
and that's
he
what he's
can't
supposed to
do
be.
this.
I think that's like someone's biggest superpower, though. When someone, like, you're expecting one thing and then what comes out is something totally different.
But
Surprise.
It's like Bruno Mars.
Yeah, exactly. But if you
comes
don't have
out,
exactly.
destroys everybody.
Well, back in the day, Tony Rich,
Tony Rich.
Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. Back in the day, I felt like the radio stations and stuff had to have something new and exciting in their market.
Right.
So they could separate themselves from something else.
Sure.
But because now all these companies are owned by pretty much one or two companies, they all got their same
Clear
playlist. So that new sound never ever happens.
Yeah.
It's like you literally have to look so hard online to find something new and refreshing. And so I look at my son and I introduce him to stuff.
Really? Do you?
Because I know he's 19 and he's listening. He grew up with the little Yachties and the babies.
Right.
And that's his universe.
Right.
But then one day he heard Scrubs from TLC and he lost his mind.
It's a great. It's still that still slaps.
He was like, oh my God,
now.
like that. So then he started looking up more stuff like that. And I say, before radio would do that for us, we'd be stuck in here in the valley, and you stuck in Oakland, all of a sudden you hear something from New York and go, oh my God.
That's bomb.
Yeah, exactly. And then you turn around and like you said, you could hear a Tony Rich, and you could hear all these, a guy singing country, you could hear Lionel Richie on the same stage.
How do you fix that?
So that's
a whole nother conversation.
We gotta.
So that bugs the hell out of me, and I wish
So fortunately, you did not stay in your lane because you made a bunch of.
He created his own buzz.
Your own lane, which is what is unique about Club Nouveau, which is unique about Timex Social Club, which was unique about En Vogue, because they really did break barriers back then.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're just very thankful.
You're so cool.
That we had you come in.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we're back. We're back with the We Got Issues Hoodlum podcast. And listen, you guys subscribe, and
hit the like button
and follow us. Don't make it fun. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that button on the right there that says you like the podcast. Make us happy. You know what I'm saying? Catch you right back.
Here we go.